Let me take you to the exact moment when my marriage ended, when everything I thought was solid crumbled in front of me. I was sitting in my barracks, the glow of my laptop illuminating the dark room. My wife Sharon was on the screen, her expression unreadable. This was our usual weekly video call, something we had done for years during my deployments. I was exhausted but happy to see her face. She looked different, not just physically, but in her energy, in the way she carried herself. Something felt off. Then she said it. "Let's open our marriage." I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh, to say it was a bad joke. But she didn't. "What?" I finally managed to say, my voice sounding distant even to myself. "I want to open our marriage," she repeated, her tone unnervingly casual, like she was asking me to pick up some groceries on my way home. I felt my entire body tense, my stomach dropping as if I had just been punched. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Sharon, what the hell are you talking about?" She sighed like I was the unreasonable one. "Jason, come on. You know how hard this has been for me. You're gone half the year. I spend birthdays, anniversaries, even holidays alone. I love you, but I need more than just video calls and care packages. So your solution is to sleep with other men." My voice was rising now, the anger seeping through the cracks of my control. "It's not just about that," she snapped, then took a deep breath. "It's about connection, about feeling alive." I ran a hand over my face, trying to process this. "Are you already seeing someone?" She hesitated just for a second, but it was enough. "Oh my God, you are," I whispered. "It's not like that," she insisted. "I haven't done anything yet, but I want to. I need to." I felt sick, my hands clenched into fists. "So you're telling me this now, while I'm thousands of miles away, unable to do anything about it?" She shrugged. "I didn't feel the need to when you were home, but when you left, it just hit me. I can't keep waiting for you, Jason. I need to live my life too." I sat back, feeling like the air had been sucked out of the room. "You know what?" I said after a long pause, my voice eerily calm. "Fine." Her eyes widened slightly. "Fine? Yeah. If this is what you want, go ahead. But there will be consequences." She scoffed. "What are you going to do? Divorce me?" She said it like it was a bluff, like she didn't believe I had it in me. I leaned closer to the camera, my voice dropping to a lethal whisper. "You don't get to break the rules of our marriage and keep reaping the benefits. First thing I'm doing is freezing our joint accounts. You want to live your life? Do it on your own dime. Second, don't call me when things go to hell, because they will." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. "You made your choice, Sharon," I said, staring at her, memorizing her face in this moment. "Now live with it." Then I ended the call, and just like that, my marriage was over. I wish I could say that was the end of it, that she accepted what she did and moved on. But of course she didn't. The next few months were a whirlwind. I returned home on leave but didn't go back to our house. I stayed with my brother instead, working with my lawyer to file for divorce. I cut off her access to my finances, which sent her into a panic. She called, texted, even showed up at my brother's house. "Jason, please, we can fix this," she begged. I just shook my head. "There's nothing left to fix, Sharon. You already broke it." She cried, swearing she had only been with one guy, that it was meaningless, that she was just confused. "It wasn't meaningless to me," I told her before walking away. As weeks passed, reality set in for her. The lavish lifestyle she enjoyed, the vacations, the expensive gifts, gone. The men she thought would fill the void, none of them stuck around. Meanwhile, I thrived. I focused on myself, on my career, on my future. One day, out of nowhere, she showed up at my new apartment, looking different, thinner, tired, desperate. "Can we just talk?" she asked softly. I let her in, more out of curiosity than anything else. She looked around, taking in the space that she wasn't a part of. "I miss you," she whispered. "No," I said simply. Her head snapped up. "What do you mean, no?" "I mean, I don't miss you. I don't miss any of this." Tears welled in her eyes. "Jason, please." "You chose this," I interrupted, my voice firm. You had a man who loved you, who built a life with you. You threw it away because you thought you could do better. Turns out you couldn't. She sobbed, covering her face with her hands. I just want things to go back to the way they were. I exhaled, shaking my head. That's not how life works, Sharon. She looked up at me, hope flickering in her eyes. So, what now? I stood up, walking to the door. Now, you leave. She hesitated, then slowly got up. As she stepped past me, she paused. You'll regret this, she said, her voice shaky. I smirked. No, Sharon, you will. I shut the door behind her, locking it for good. Sometimes people don't realize what they have until it's gone. Sharon thought she could have her cake and eat it too, but life doesn't work that way. She traded loyalty for temporary pleasure and lost everything in the process. As for me, I walked away with my dignity intact. A few weeks passed, and the finality of the divorce started sinking in. Sharon's texts became less frequent, but when they came, they were desperate. Please, Jason, I know I made a mistake. I wasn't thinking clearly. I just want another chance. I never responded. The more time I spent away from her, the more I realized just how much she had taken me for granted. I wasn't just a paycheck. I wasn't just someone who funded her luxury lifestyle while she played single when it was convenient for her. I was her husband, the man who stood by her, made sacrifices for her, and built a future with her. But that wasn't enough for her. So I moved forward. I spent time with family, got back in shape, and even started going out again. I wasn't looking for anything serious, but for the first time in a long time, I felt free. Then out of nowhere, she showed up at one of my favorite bars. I was with some buddies from the Marine Corps catching up when I spotted her near the entrance. She looked different. Not in the way she had when she first asked for an open marriage. Back then, she had exuded confidence, excitement, like she was on the brink of a new adventure. Now she looked lost. Her eyes scanned the room until they landed on me. I turned back to my friends, acting as if I hadn't seen her, but she didn't take the hint. She walked straight to our table, ignoring the stares from my buddies, and stood beside me. Jason, she said, her voice small, almost childlike. I sighed, setting down my drink. What do you want, Sharon? She hesitated. Can we talk? Privately? One of my friends, Mike, smirked. Doesn't seem like he wants to talk to you, lady. Mike, I muttered, giving him a look. He shrugged. Just calling it like I see it. I got up, leading her outside. The night air was cool and the silence between us was heavy. You really don't miss me? She asked, wrapping her arms around herself. No. She flinched, like she hadn't expected that level of honesty. Jason, please, she whispered. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. I was stupid, okay? I thought I wanted freedom, but I was wrong. I scoffed. Wrong? Sharon, you didn't just make a mistake. You made a decision, a calculated, selfish decision. And now that it's backfired, you want to undo it. Her lip trembled. I still love you. I shook my head. No, you don't. You love what I gave you. The security, the life. But me, the actual me, you threw that away the second you decided I wasn't enough. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. I don't want to be your backup plan, I said. I don't want to be the guy you crawl back to because your freedom wasn't as glamorous as you thought. Tears streamed down her face. So that's it? After everything we've been through? I exhaled, looking her in the eye. There's nothing left to save. Sharon, you made sure of that. She sobbed, covering her face with her hands. I turned and walked away. The divorce was finalized soon after. Sharon fought it every step of the way, trying to stall, trying to renegotiate, trying to convince me to talk things through. But I was done talking. When it was all said and done, she lost more than just a husband. She lost the house. She lost the lifestyle. She lost the respect of our mutual friends. I heard through the grapevine that she tried dating some of the men from her open marriage phase, but none of them wanted anything serious. Turns out a woman who betrays her husband isn't exactly high value in the dating world. One day she sent me a final email. You were right. I didn't realize what I had until I lost it. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I just want you to know I'm sorry for everything. I never responded. Some doors once closed should never be reopened. To anyone reading this, love is about respect, about loyalty, about choosing each other every single day. If someone ever makes you feel like an option instead of a priority, let them go. They'll realize their mistake. But by then, you'll be too far ahead to care. Months passed and life moved forward. I wasn't the same person I had been before Sharon shattered our marriage. I had changed, grown, and learned the hard way that love without loyalty is just a ticking time bomb. I was doing well, better than I had expected. I focused on my career, my family, and myself. For the first time in years, I was living life for me, not for someone else. I found peace in my routine, joy in small moments, and excitement in the unknown future. Sharon, on the other hand, wasn't doing as well. I heard from mutual friends that her life had taken a turn for the worse. The men she thought were her exciting new options had long since disappeared. They never saw her as a partner, just a temporary distraction. The money was gone. The house was gone. The invitations to high-end social events had dried up. She was alone. She reached out again, just once, sending a long, desperate message about how she had made a terrible mistake. I don't expect you to take me back, but I need to say this. I ruined the best thing I ever had. I wish I had seen it before it was too late. I stared at the message for a moment, then deleted it without replying. Some things don't deserve a response. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't bitter. I didn't even feel satisfaction in knowing that she was suffering. I just didn't care. And that was the real victory. She had been my world, but she had destroyed that world with her own hands. I had no reason to rebuild it for her. Life isn't about holding on to people who prove they don't deserve you. It's about knowing when to walk away, when to put yourself first, and when to let the past stay in the past. So that's what I did. What do you think? Do people like Sharon ever truly regret their choices, or do they only regret losing the comfort they once had? Let me know your thoughts.